Hello. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Sorting out some settings on my computer. Trying to get things updated, but I don't know what's going on. I can't open certain programs for some reason. I don't know why, but it won't let me open certain things. So I'm guessing either a system update's needed or something's up with the computer again. So yeah. Hey. All fun, isn't it, with technology? How are we, everybody? One person watching, hello to you, whoever it is. Come and say hello in the comments if you so wish to. I can bring you in real time. We can have a chat. But yes, yeah, live streams, people. um, yes, live streams. I'm bringing them back, baby. I'm bringing them back. Yeah, I've been wanting to come back into the whole. I've been wanting to bring them back the live streams, properly and do them a little bit more often. So I've decided to do weekly ones. I've been wanting to do weekly ones straight off the bat. So yeah, so every Friday, unless something really does crop up, then there might be the odd Friday where I might have to miss, but that's life. Things do crop up over time. But I'm going to try my damnedest to at least do once, at least for the most part, every Friday, except for the odd exception here or there, where I might have to do it another night or leave it a week. But but the whole point is, I just want to try and make them more frequent, like they used to be. So that's the whole idea. Is I just want to make them more frequent. Hello, Jace. Hey, Jace, how you doing? Alpha Prime, hello. Hey, bro, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're both well. Yep, life does certainly happen, my friend. Life is one of those things. Life is an enigma. And mine is almost certainly an enigma. I am an enigma. Most people would say. Good. We all well. Good. It's good to see you both. Well, kind of. Well, yes. If anything you want to talk about straight off the bat, we can get things on the road. Any new toy purchases? I know you, Alpha. You've been a busy boy with the old wallet recently. I've seen a few of the videos been popping up. Another unboxing. So there's been plenty of toys coming through, and I know this is my vlog channel. Okay, I just want to alliterate that this is obviously my vlog channel. I know my regular upload vlogs are no longer going to be hobby based. I'm not going to really be talking about my hobby or any pickups or anything in regards to normal vlogs. However, this is a live stream. So live streams are a lot more freer for me. So anything to do with the hobby, anything to do with collecting, anything to do with films, anything to do with geeky stuff like that, is basically going to be for the live streams. But my regular normal vlogs are going to be completely separate to what I usually do on my TF Nosy channel going forward. Also, my TF Nation videos are returning to my main channel as well. So when TF Nation comes around again, my TF Nation special vlog and anything to do with TF Nation, regardless of the update videos that I do, because obviously I upload like guest updates, guest announcements, and anything like that to my main channel already. But I was uploading the vlogs to this channel, even though they did get views and people have seen them that are interested. But I thought it's probably for the best from TF Nation this year in August. I'm going to start bringing them back to this channel. I know there's going to be a bit of a gap because the last one I uploaded, I think it was either the first or the second TF Nation it might have been the first TF Nation or the second TF Nation, but it's been a while. Either the first or the second TF Nation when it all started, when TF Nation first kicked off. Basically, yeah, the first, either the first or the second TF Nation when it all started was probably the last time I uploaded a TF Nation video, like a vlog experience, to my TF Nosy channel. So since then, it's literally been my vlog channel. So yes, there's going to be a bit of a gap, and people are going to be like, "Wait a minute, where's last year's and where's this year's?" But yeah, the TF Nation vlogs I've already done for past years are still going to remain on my vlog channel, so that they are still viewable for people that are maybe want to have a look back or watch them again. I'm not going to take them down or anything or whatever, so I'm just going to simply just continue as I mean to go on, but upload them on my main channel, seeing as my main channel is more for that thing, which makes a bit more sense to me. Some people might think it's a messing about, and I'm just upsetting the apple cart, so to speak, but it's just for me, it was getting a little bit silly in a way, because my vlog channel, this channel, has always been about being a separate thing. It's always been like a fly on the wall type deal thing for me. Kind of like the real me. Even though my collection, my hobby side of stuff is still me, it is still the real me. But the point I'm trying to make there is it's kind of like seeing me in a different way, because most people that have been friends with me for years only know me for one thing, and that's collecting toys, Transformer reviews. So that's the only real thing people know of me, of having an interest in, is my geeky stuff, geeky interests. As for other things that I'm interested in, like traveling, and going for walks and nature, wildlife, and all sorts of things like that, and photography, just making videos in general and different things, experiencing different things. That's the whole idea of this channel, as to why I decided to make this channel, was for that reason. But anyway, let me catch up with people. Alpha Prime. I am literally just unboxing Deathsaurus as we speak. Very nice. My Deathsaurus is literally just up there, past my head, on my glass Detolf, on the top of my glass Detolf at the moment. I don't know where else I can put it. I've put it on top of there because there's just enough space for him. But I don't want to keep him up there just in case it gets knocked by accident and it falls down, because it is a bit of a, I don't want it to break. So, but I'm going to have to start thinking about space again. Yeah, the never-ending journey and issue us collectors have. Space. I'm toying with the idea of putting a couple more shelves up or getting another glass Detolf. So I've got more than one glass Detolf. The glass Detolf has really helped me out, the one I've got already. It has really helped me out. It's helped me really kind of... a lot of the more recent stuff's in there, and a lot of my Beast Wars, the newer Beast Wars figures are in that my glass Detolf. I'm going to have to do some measurements and make sure, but I'm going to have to find, if I do get another glass Detolf, it's where it's going to go. That's the problem. It's where it's going to go. I was thinking about putting it right here, where I'm sat now, but there isn't that much space for the chair. And that thing can't really move very far that way much, really. The only other option is putting one in the far corner there. I don't know. There's going to have to be some rearrangement of the room a little bit, I think, in order to, if I did get another glass Detolf, or I'm going to have to see about maybe getting rid of some figures that I'm not bothered with and just go from there, because there is a fair few figures in the collection that I'm just not that bothered with. I've got them, but I've not really got much satisfaction out of them. So I'm thinking of just getting rid of a few of them, clear some space on the shelves, and that'll just kind of go from there for now, until I can get some sort of. I mean, it would be bloody brilliant if I had my own bloody place. If I had my own place, I would have the whole wall. I would have multiple glass detolf cabinets, and I'd have a couple of the big shelves like I've got behind me here, full of the buggers. But there is a way around it. There is a way around it, because I got rid of a load of books. I got rid of a load of books. I got rid of a load of books, and I got rid of a load of comics and things of that nature. A load of big bulky bastard books. And so I've got quite a bit more shelf space on this bookshelf right behind me. So I could potentially use a couple of the shelves on this thing behind me, because they're real broad shelving. So the shelves do go back quite a bit. So I could easily, if I stack the figures properly, I could probably get about 2 or 3 rows of figures in total on one shelf. And I've got about 2 shelves there that I can easily utilize if I need to. So that's giving me an idea for the future. But yeah, but I am thinking of maybe just getting rid of a few things that I don't bother with anymore, or not interested in, and just kind of keep the multitude of the lines that I like the most, really. Alpha Prime, going to get it set up for my Figure of Friday post on my Instagram page. Nice one. And Alpha again, bro, just do what you want to do. They are your channels, man. Yep, that is true. They are very much my channels. But yeah, 2 people watching. I don't know if it's still Jason. Probably is Jason. I don't know. But yes. Also, I've been kind of like uploading slightly different videos recently as well, haven't I? I haven't uploaded a review for at least a couple of weeks now, going on 4. I am going to. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna. A Transformers review will be coming to my TF Nosy channel. But I've been kind of going down. Obviously, I uploaded did a reaction video to Avatar, the live action Netflix adaptation series for Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I did a trailer reaction video. It hasn't had many views, but to be quite honest, I don't give a fuck about views anymore, really. It hasn't had many views, but I just wanted to do it. But that went up, and I also spoke about the situation with Game as well. The shop Game. Apparently considering on ending trade-ins. So like trading in old games and game consoles and things. To get like money off or whatever it is. So I did a video talking about that, which is very much against what I usually do. I don't talk about things like that often. But it's been kind of interesting, kind of like going down that avenue a little bit. Even though those videos aren't going to get much... They're not really going to get promoted very much by YouTube, because it goes against the demographic or kind of what I do on the channel. This is what I hate about YouTube these days. This is what I don't like about YouTube nowadays, is you have to stick to the same mundane thing all the time. If not, if you start detouring and going on upload different type of videos and different things and talking about different stuff, then those videos are just going to get lost in the abyss of YouTube videos, and they're not going to get any sort of help or push by YouTube, by the algorithm and that. They're not going to help you as much as your other stuff, which is a bit annoying, because YouTube, like YouTube when it first started, it was all about broadcast yourself. It didn't really matter what you were talking about or what kind of videos you uploaded. You could talk about literally anything you wanted, multiple different things at one point. But now you've got to stick to the same fucking thing, which is essentially what they call stick to a formula, basically. But yeah, sometimes I like to talk about different things. I mean, it's still within the confines of the geeky stuff because it's video game related, talking about video game, future video games and such. As well, that video. But what can you do, people? What can you do? You can only go as you mean to go on, really. But yes. I don't know if he will, but I have actually invited a good friend of mine, Sam, Triple Zero Firestorm, on the stream tonight. He is working. He is working tonight, but he said he finished at 6:30, so it should be finished. It should be finished in about 10 minutes work-wise, I think. And then he's got to have his tea. So if Sam does come on, it probably might be after 7:00, but I'll still be here anyway for at least about an hour or two. So if he does want to come on for an hour, then we'll just wait there. I mean, I've sent him the link. I've sent him the link to come into the stream if he wishes to do so, but we will see. He might be a bit tired after work. I don't know, but I thought, why not? I don't. When I do my own streams, it's always just me, and I thought, fuck it, I might just see if anyone else wants to come on for a change as well, and see if they can kind of anything specific they would like to talk about. But we'll see. Alpha. So, what have you been up to lately, bro? Oh, what have I been up to? Work, really. Obviously working. Yeah, not much really else. No, I don't really have much of a very exciting life. This is why I haven't been uploading many vlogs, because every time I upload a vlog, there's nothing for me to talk about, so I'm repeating myself every time. So that's why I prefer live streams, because I can kind of have a conversation about different things rather than the same old shit from me. But no, I've just been working, really. I had a couple of figures pop up in the post recently. I've recently got Deathsaurus as well, I think last week. And today I got Transformers Legacy United Optimus Prime, which is the Transformers animated Optimus Prime. So he arrived today. And also I've got issue 4 of the new Transformers comic book coming as well, because I haven't read chapter 4 yet, or issue 4. So I've got issue 4 of the new Transformers comic book coming in the post as well. That should hopefully be with me either tomorrow or Monday. It has shipped, but hopefully that should come soon. But yes, but that's as far as I've been doing, really, is just work. Just earning that money. Yeah, nothing really of interest has been going on with my life, because my life is very boring. What you been up to then, Alpha? If you're still there, because it's only saying one person's watching so far, which I assume is you, Alpha. I think maybe Jace has popped off, or I don't know. It's coming up saying 2, then it's going back to 1. So somebody's coming in and out at certain points, which is fine. But I'm just watching the viewpoint at the top of the screen there, and I'm only getting one person that is constantly here. But there's somebody else is popping in and popping out, and then. But the thing is, I understand it's a Friday evening. A lot of the focus will not go to me, it'll go to Transformers the Show, because that starts at 8 o'clock. So, I mean, obviously I'm going live before Transformers the Show, but a lot of people tune into Transformers the Show that are part of the collecting thing. So I likely probably won't get much attention tonight, but I don't really give a shit. I mean, Transformers to show that the guys behind it are brilliant, don't get me wrong. But that seems to be like the thing to watch, the stream to watch. But the thing is, though, it's a better stream than mine. There's like, it is good. And when I've managed to actually watch it, that is. I don't go on there, I don't manage to catch up with that very much. I haven't popped off. Okay. No, right. As long as I know who it is. But no, I think it might be Jace. He might be busy as well as watching. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, I think I'm just going to have a look around the shelves and just see what kind of figures I can do without with. And I think I'm going to have to utilise these shelves behind me for a couple of things, smaller figures. I mean, that's what I'm going to have to do for now. Because space is a big problem in this room. It really is. I kind of wish I was in the front bedroom again, or like I used to be when I was younger. You know, it's not a very big room still, but it's much bigger than this one. And there's a lot more wall space as well. So I can put more shelving up, and I can actually put maybe more than, I can actually get like loads of like glass detolfs. I can actually get at least about 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 of them in a row along the wall. Instead of just getting like the odd 1 or 2, I can actually get like a full row of them if I was in the front room, but it's not going to happen. But I just wish I had my own place, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just not in a financial position at the moment to really be able to go down that avenue yet. But I need to. If I had my own place, I'll probably be able to kind of like sort space out and have it sort of set up in a certain way so that I can constantly add to it when I need to. But yeah, we'll see. It's the last thing on my mind at the moment, really, is space for stuff. But I don't have many figures on pre-order. I think there's maybe one more figure that I pre-ordered last year that is yet to arrive. I think there's still one more. I know Deathsaurus was one that I pre-ordered. I backed it. It's actually quite a while ago that I'd backed that, and it finally got to me. Animated Optimus, Transformers Animated Optimus Prime, the new figure, he arrived today, and I pre-ordered that last year. I can't remember what I pre-ordered now, but I think there's possibly one more figure that I pre-ordered. I don't know, but there's not many figures that I've got on pre-order anyway that I've yet to receive. So there's not that many, and obviously TF Nation's coming up, so I'm gonna have it. Well, in August anyway. I'm not going to the one in March. I'm going to obviously the August one, the main one. But yes, I'm gonna have to sort something out before then, if I can. I'm gonna have to sort something out before then. But yeah, such as life for us, you know, collectors, I guess. Alpha. Very interested in that new animated Prime. Yeah. I don't have any of the other. I don't have the other two. Well, technically, well, yeah. Obviously, Transformers Animated. I absolutely love that series, and the toy line was pretty much fantastic. You know, there was some really good figures part of that line. But I know this is obviously like a slight redesign, but kind of like incorporating it into a different line. It's animated Optimus Prime, but you can definitely tell there's a big difference between the original toy. I don't have the original figure anymore, but you can definitely tell there is a difference there with how the new one looks, even though it's slightly similar. But you know, I didn't bother getting the animated Prime figured out the release part of the Legacy line as well because I don't like what they did with him. The bot mode looks okay itself, but I don't like the head sculpt. It's supposed to be animated Prowl, but it doesn't look like animated Prowl. It sort of doesn't, and it doesn't at the same time. I don't know why they did that. But the Optimus Prime looks really good compared to the Prowl they released. But that's the thing with me. I only buy figures that I like the look of. I'm not a completist because there's quite a lot of figures that have come out. There's quite a lot of figures that have come out. A part of the Legacy line. There's a few of them that I'm just not bothered with that whatsoever. I'm not bothered with that whatsoever. But then there's the odd one that I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Yeah, so, but yeah, I've always been someone that only buys certain figures that I generally like the look of. I mean, it's a little bit thingy that that Optimus Prime from animated Optimus Prime. I do have an animated figure in my collection. I've only got one from the original animated line, and it's animated Blair. I've got Transformers animated Blair, so I at least can put this new Optimus Prime with Blair. So at least I do have a figure companion that I could put him with. But for the most part, I don't really have any other figures. And I don't have any of the other figures because obviously they brought out a Bulkhead as well, but that's not actually animated. It's not animated bulk. It's not Bulkhead from animated. It's Bulkhead from Prime. It's supposed to be Transformers Prime Bulkhead or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't like the look of the Prowl. I don't like the head sculpt personally. I just, animated Prowl head sculpt. It's kind of like that, like a thin like a thin face with the the visor. But no, for some reason they went with like a big, more like a blocky face for their version for the Legacy line. I don't like it. It just does not look like animated Prowl for me. But yet, at least the Optimus Prime sort of looks like him a lot more, and the head sculpt is actually really nice. It is really nice head sculpts what they've done for the new Prime, definitely. Alpha, haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Might wait and see if it shows up in Smith's and have a look in person. Yeah, that's all good. I mean, like I say, I only jumped on it because I genuinely liked the look of it. I saw a lot of the initial images. I saw a lot of the initial images for it when it was like just before it went up for pre-order, and I thought that looks really nice. I like the head sculpt of that. It looks really good. And I just when I noticed it was up for pre-order, I just pre-ordered it. But yeah, sometimes I've got some figures in my collection. When I first saw the first initial promo pictures and that they put up on the sites and things of that nature, there has been times where I've seen the images and I'm like, no, not that bothered. But then when I've actually picked it up in person, it looks a lot better. Sometimes it looks better in person than it did when whoever took the picture. So yeah, there's been a couple of times where that's happened over the years. But yeah, it's always best to just have it in hand first, so you can get a proper, make your mind up over it. Alpha again. I have only got a few more pre-orders. Just don't feel the need to pre-order as much as I used to be fair. Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't, like I say, I only kind of pre-order figures that I genuinely am interested in. I don't pre-order all the time. Not every single figure that gets released I pre-order. I only pre-order certain figures, like the Deathsaurus. That was literally kind of like, Deathsaurus, even though it is a mass-produced toy, they are still going to be like in shops. There's going to be a limited quantity of them, but they will be in like mostly collectors' shops, probably like Space Bridge and In Demand Toys. They probably have some for their physical stores, what they have, things of that nature. But maybe kind of Forbidden Planet might get a couple as well. But with Deathsaurus, that was a backed thing. That was backed. So it was crowdfunded and backed. So yeah, that is like a special case. Some people that will argue with that, but I thought, well, that's definitely going to be a pre-order because there's not going to be as many of those. They're not going to make as many of that figure compared to, say, like a normal mass-produced figure from a normal line. But yeah. But the thing is, I think now that people pre-order figures now, it kind of takes a little, a lot of people pre-order. I've seen some, each to their own. All collectors are different. All collectors are different. What I mean by that is, a lot of them are completists. And a lot of them are completists. They start a line, they will complete the entire line, no matter whether it's a good toy or a bad toy. They will just complete the full line. You get your completists. But you see, because the whole pre-order thing's coming massive. You don't see many people. You might get the odd person that might go out and actually see a figure out in the wild in a shop, when it's already been out and managed to pick it up. I've done that in the past, but the problem is here in Hull, I ain't got much choice to either order it online or pre-order it if I'm really interested in it. Because even though we do have a Smiths, but the last time I went to Smiths, it was probably one of the smallest sections for Transformers out of probably any other Smiths out there within the system of Smiths. It was, they might have changed it since. I haven't been since that day, which is going back at least 2 years ago. So they probably had they maybe like changed things around. They might have incorporated it into a bigger section now in ours. The only thing I can do is just take a drive down there at some point when I'm free, and just see if if it's a better selection or they've actually added to it rather than. I mean, obviously, because if you go by the Smiths website, there is quite some interesting pieces on the Smiths website. But when you physically go to the shop, in store and online are two very separate things. It's like supermarkets. You've got online and you've got in store, and somebody, you always get like that question. Obviously, I used to work in retail. And a customer would come up to me saying, "Oh, I saw this so and so online. I can't find it here." And you go and check, and sorry, we're out of stock on that. And then they start having a go at you, and you kind of like, they're kind of like, "Oh, but you've got it online, but yet why is it not here?" I'm like, "Well, we've sold out of it. Online is a completely separate thing." We don't have it in store. We have no more stock in store in order to, give you or whatever. But online, it's different. So it's like everything. You got your online and you got your in store. So it's just slightly different when it comes to stock and availability. So, but I might have to take a drive down to Smiths sometime and just see if they have improved. Just see if they have improved the selection that they have there. Because, like I said, the last time I went, all the Transformer stuff was literally just on one of the ends of one of the big shelving units. It was just on one of the ends, so it was from bottom to top, just Transformers, and it was just one of the ends. And it was really small. Unlike all the other toy lands had like full proper lands from like one side right down to the other. But in Hull, we don't have hardly any Transformers sold. We finally have a Forbidden Planet, and every time I go into town, into Hull City Centre, and I go to our Forbidden Planet, there's literally about 5 figures. And they've been out for ages. Transformers just don't sell as they used to. I can understand why Hasbro don't see the UK as a viable market. I know this is bringing up a thing that was spoken about quite a while ago, part of the collectors thing. I remember, basically Hasbro themselves actually said that the UK just isn't a viable market. They don't earn as much money at all in the UK. And it's like, well, is there any wonder? You don't, the toys that are much more in demand don't get released very well don't get released here unless it's a specialist store that specializes in collectibles, like Forbidden Planet or the Space Bridge or In-Demand Toys or Kapow or whatever. They're the only stores that understand, because they are specialized in those lines, and they will get everything in that's brand spanking new release, latest thing. They will get it in without a question, without a problem. But your normal shops like Smiths, they only kind of maybe get the first or second. Like Smiths, for instance, they did actually have more. When I went, I was actually quite surprised by what they did have. There was a couple of figures that I did pick up that day when I went, and I was actually quite surprised that those were there. But still, the selection was quite small considering what other people say about Smiths, where they are. Much bigger sections, Transformers section. But ours, it was literally just one of the ends of the aisles. But we do have other toy shops in Hull, obviously, but they don't stock anything, really. It's the real crappy, meant for little kids' toys that are like one step changer kind of things. I don't like those at all. I understand at the end of the day, they're a toy for a child. That's the whole idea. Those real simple figures are more meant for a little child to play with. I understand that. There's less things on it that will pop off and possibly cause a choking hazard for a child, a real young child or whatever. I get that. I completely understand. Hence why, I get that. But for me, obviously, I prefer my actual figures that have, the normal lines, the actual lines, rather than the little child-friendly ones. But that's me. That's just me. But I don't see the point of the little lines, like the alternatives, opposite lines or whatever that they've come out with. But that's the only thing is, for me, see, the pre-order a figure that I like. When I know a figure's gone up for pre-order and I'm genuinely interested in it, I will pre-order it. But if or if I do happen to just randomly see it in a shop, then I will pick it up. But the thing is, as well, it kind of takes the shine off going to TF Nation, because obviously I go to TF Nation mostly for the people. I've always stressed that I go to TF Nation for the people, to catch up with good friends that I haven't seen for a year or whatever, and that is the main draw for me to go to TF Nation, is for that reason. But when it comes down to toys, the last couple of years I've gone, I'll say the last 2 or 3 years, I've walked around the dealer room and nothing, and I mean nothing whatsoever, is jumping out at me. And I'm not the only person that's had that conversation. I've had that conversation with. There's quite a few people that have shared the exact same opinion as me, just wandering around the dealer room and just nothing in their hands. They just can't seem to find anything that really screams at them. Oh, I want to buy that. Yeah, you get, it's because most people either pre-order or manage to find it in a Forbidden Planet or something, or a Smith's. And by the time it comes round to TF Nation, everyone's already got most of the current stuff out for the year. Everyone's pretty much got everything. And if there's anything else while they're at TF Nation, it might be the odd little thing here or there. But for me, to be honest, it doesn't matter about how big your haul is when it comes to going to a convention. Of course not. It doesn't matter. Some people really go the 9 yards, and they've got literally a freaking stack right up here. This is my haul. But my haul's getting smaller and smaller and smaller by each year. It's getting smaller. Whether it's me getting a little bit more, responsible with how much I'm spending, it could be a little bit of that. But at the same time, I don't, like I say, I'm not a completist collector. I only buy stuff, no matter what line it is. It doesn't have to be just Transformers. It could be from any line. If it attracts my eye, I will pick it up, irrespective of it being part of a collection or whatever. I will pick it up. That's just how I've always been. I've always been attracted to certain things, certain figures. I've never really bothered about collecting an entire line. The only lines that I do have more of a soft spot for, irrespective of that, what I've just said, is Beast Wars and Transformers Prime. If I see any, like TF Nation, I'm always on the outlook. I'm always looking out for anything Beast Wars, Transformers Prime, that kind of thing. Or now I want to try and pick up more of the Armada toys and Unicron trilogy. Because, but like I say, I don't have the space to have a complete collection. But, I'm never going to have a full collection of Prime. I'm never going to have a full collection of Beast Wars, even though I would love to. But it's not. I don't have. I just won't be able to. I just don't have enough space to have an entire collection of anything. So that's why I'm very picky, is because I'm always aware of the space problem I've got, and I only buy the figures that I genuinely really do like the look of, over buying an entire, buying the entire line. Like, that's me. If I had a much bigger space and a much bigger room, then I would probably quite happily buy more, or go a little bit more outside of what I usually am like. But yeah, I just don't have the space to just buy shitloads of them at once. I just don't. Where are we with the? Here we go. Alpha Prime. I ordered the animated Bumblebee on Amazon for like £15. Couldn't pass it up at that price. Oh yeah, Bumblebee. I forgot about Bumblebee. Actually, that one looks alright. Yeah, the animated Bumblebee that they released, as well as, because obviously the Bumblebee and the Prime, I think they got kind of like announced and everything at the same time, didn't they? I forgot about him. But yeah, that Bumblebee does actually look alright. Compared to the Prowl, compared to the animated Prowl that they released, the Bumblebee and the Optimus Prime, those two actually do look much closer to their actual animated character designs. They actually do look more closer to those designs than Prowl does. I mean, Prowl, you might as well not call him Prowl. You might as well just give him a completely different, brand new name, an original name, and just call him that, because he doesn't. I just don't like the head sculpt. You know what I mean? It just does not look like Prowl from animated, and it doesn't even look like a Prowl from any other toy line either. It's a very weird choice that they decided to go down with him. Even though it's the motorcycle mode looks really nice. The actual figure itself, like the body, the proportions and everything, it looks really quite cool. It's just the head sculpt, and I just don't like the head sculpt, because it just doesn't look like the animated character design at all. It's meant to be like a representation of the character from animated, but why, now that they've released Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, those two look very, very, very close, but yet Prowl looks absolutely nothing like. I don't know where their mindset was when they came up with those toys. I really don't. Anyway, Alpha Prime. In-stores will have to sell them for more. Always best to just pay the backing price on the HasLabs rather than aftermarket price, in my opinion. They never go down in price. That is true. That is very true. Yeah, yeah, it will likely. To be honest, that is actually kind of true, because I have noticed, like, recently, because obviously I got for Christmas, for Christmas off my dad, I got a couple of the YOLO Park model kits that are both on my channel. Obviously, I've done a video for both of them now. And I went on YOLO Park's actual website, and those kits are actually between £5 or £10 cheaper on their website, on YOLO Park's official website, or over any other site that they've been sold on. I didn't know that, obviously, and with them being YOLO Park, I thought they were just from China, but they actually do have an actual overseas website where you can actually buy them from YOLO Park themselves, like you would from Hasbro or whatever. So I do have my eye on a few YOLO Park model kits, but I'm actually going to see about buying them off of their own website rather than going through Kapow or In Demand or whatever, because they are cheaper. I paid 30 quid each, even though it's still not a bad price for the kits that I've got. The Rise of the Beasts, Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. I paid 30 quid each, which isn't bad at all. 60 quid for 2 model kits. That's not bad at all. But on the website, on Yellow Park's official website, they're £25 each. 25, so 50 quid. So that's 10 quid saving there. If I had known that and had that thought process when I first picked them up, I could have saved, well, my dad could have saved about a tenner off them. I mean, obviously you do pay a P&P on top, no doubt. I don't know if it's included or whatever, but you're talking a couple quid, but you're still saving a little bit of money, regardless. And then they're releasing Yellow Park G1 model kits now that are actually got metal parts to them. So they're not plastic; they've actually got die cast in them. So they've released the over pre-order at the moment. They've the Optimus Prime and the Megatron. I have my eye on those two. And they are cheaper on Yellow Park's website. I went on Kapow Toys and they're selling them for about 40 odd quid. I think 40 to 45 quid. At Yellow Park, they're only about 30 quid, about 35, something like that. So again, it's cheaper. So yeah, where you're coming from is like, obviously it's different retailers. I understand that the reason why the price is different on another site is because obviously they've got overheads, they need to make a profit. I understand all that, and also a lot of these people, obviously they're independent retailers, that they own their business, so they need to earn the money to order, pay the bills, and order stock and all that kind of jazz. I understand why there's a difference in the prices between sites. I understand that. I'm not trying to say it's they're being cheeky with. I'm not saying that they're being cheeky or anything like that with adding an extra couple quid or whatever. It's just generally that it's overheads. I mean, Yellow Park, it's their product, so they can set it at whatever price they see fit for the product. But anyone else, that is obviously they're buying the stock buying their stock to sell on their website or in their store or whatever, and of course the price is going to be a bit different from someone else. Of course it is. But I do have my eye. I might see I might leave it till TFN in August and see if someone's, because when I went to TFN, because I knew of there being model kits of Transformers, and when I went to TFN last year, back in August last year, I saw the Yellow Park ones actually being sold there. There was a trader selling them, as well as there was the guy selling all the Gundam kits and everything. There was a guy selling all the Gundam kits, and then there was another one to kind of like on the right hand side in the corner, I think it was, as you went into the dealer room. There was another guy or another table selling all the Yellow Park ones, and I saw them and I picked them up and I thought they look interesting. But I never picked it up there and then. But if they're there again, if that same stands there at TFN in August this year, and they do have the die-cast G1 Optimus and Megatron kits, I might pick them up from TFN. I might actually save them and maybe pick them up there. I mean, yes, I probably will have to pay more, like I just said. But, obviously at conventions, for some reason, they hike the prices up on everything at conventions because it's, try and get the most money as they can try and get while they're there. Alpha, I miss walking into a store and finding a figure. Pre-ordering takes that fun away, but like you, my local stores are terrible for getting lines in. Yeah, it's not just me. I know it's not just that. I know it's not just. I know it's just. I know it's not just my location. It's genuinely the entirety of UK. But even America and Canada have problems with stock problems as well. You know, Hasbro are very bad at distributing their toy lines. I mean, apparently, I've heard things like, you know, like what's interesting as well. A lot of the more recent, like Deathsaurus, for instance, when I posted on social media that I'd got him, and there was another figure as well that arrived. What was that one? Can't remember what it was now. But there was another figure anyway that arrived as well. And what's interesting about that is, like these people, like in America and Canada and that, and like, wait a minute, how did you get this figure? Like literally commenting on my posts of the figure and that. They're like, wait a minute, how did you get that? Where did you get it from? And then I tell them where, and then they comment back saying, "Oh, so how is it that the UK gets it before us in America or whatever?" And I'm like, well, I don't know, but I've noticed some figures seem to be releasing earlier than America now, and I don't understand it because Hasbro's an American company, and I would have thought America would have had the stock. I mean, I'm not saying every figure. There's some figures that are released in America before they come to the UK, but there has been a couple of figures that have released earlier here than in America. So and also apparently there is still issues of stock problems in America. Certain states in America seem to be having a problem, and also Canada as well. But Canada is incredibly overpriced. I mean, the US dollar, usually the pricing isn't too bad, but the Canadian dollar, Jesus Christ, it is like just a standard deluxe figure. It costs like probably say about 25 quid, 25 quid in the UK. In America, it's probably going to be about $30 for maybe $40, depending again. I'm talking deluxe here. And then in Canada, it's probably going to be like 50 odd Canadian dollar or something like that. It's like, what the fuck is that about? But yeah. Alpha, kids don't play with toys as much. They would rather watch videos or play computer games these days. Yeah, that is absolutely 100% true. 100% true. Yeah, that is the thing. It's the play. Kids don't play anymore. You know, like kids today don't really understand. You know, kids today don't really understand what it was like to be free as a child, to be free to do what they want, to go out, play, have fun. Kids today don't have that anymore. Or they do, but it's just the way the times, technology is just taking their focus away from just being a simple child to, you know, experience things and go out for bike rides and just experience what it's like to be a child before technology. Kids today, unfortunately, don't have that luxury. You know, I mean, obviously, I think I was born at just the right fucking time. Just the right fucking time. Because if I was born like 5 years later, so like say if I was born in 95, for instance, yes, it was still the 90s, but yeah, technology would have come in so by the time I was like 10 years old, you know, I'd have probably had my first mobile phone by then. Or my second mobile phone. I don't know. But yeah, but still, like social media didn't come in. Social media didn't come in until like, well, 2000s, wasn't it? It was about, like, 'cause obviously it was MySpace originally, then Facebook started, and then Twitter and all that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kids today don't understand what it was like. We were lucky. I mean, I was born in '89, so practically right at the beginning of the '90s, and I experienced what it was like to be a child. I experienced what it was like to be a child when, before the whole technology boom with social media and and all that kind of jazz. It's just, yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, if I ever meet someone and I have kids, well, whenever I do meet anyone, that is, but it'll happen eventually. But you know what I mean. If I ever do meet someone and we do have kids, I'm probably. I know this might sound awful to say because some people argue, "Oh, that's just shielding them. That's mummy coddling them or whatever." But my parents did the right thing with me. What I mean by that is, when mobile phones started coming out and were, gaining popularity, and kids were asking their parents for phones and things. I didn't get my first phone until I was about 13, but when I was, I think, probably going up to secondary school. Um, yeah, probably so. Because I mean, I started asking. I wanted a mobile phone, but my parents wouldn't let me have one. I know back in my day, it was just simply for text and calls. Mobile phones back when I was a kid, when they started coming out, the old Nokias and such. It was just text and phone calls, wasn't it? Of course, and obviously, but the fact is that it was like back then. It was like the trust thing of paying the bill for the phone. You know, not going over the call limits, or not doing this, not doing that because it could cost more for the bill, and things of that nature. um, but no, but my parents, they would not let me have a mobile phone when they started getting more advanced and everything. Um, but I think the first mobile phone I got was it was my dad's old Nokia. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Nokia, and it was like it had a little antenna on the top of it, and it was my dad's. So my dad gave me. So my first mobile phone was my dad's old phone, and my dad got another phone, and so I had like a hand-me-down phone. So that was my first phone, and it was literally just, obviously it was one of the old Nokias. So all I could do was like phone calls and texts. And obviously they gave me that when I went up to secondary school. So they gave me that because it was just for emergencies only. Just if there's any problems, ring us. That's the whole idea why they gave me that phone, because that's all you could do back then, and play Snake, obviously. um, and then yeah, like the first phone I actually bought with my own money was the not Nokia, was the Motorola Razor. The Motorola Razor was the first phone I actually bought with my own money. That was my first phone I bought with my own money. All the other phones were kind of like purchases for my birthday or Christmas or something. Alpha, long gone are the days where kids get a bunch of figures out and spend hours playing in their bedroom floor, on their bedroom floor. Such a shame, in my opinion. It is. It is a shame. It really is. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. There will be kids that play with toys. I know, like some of the really the young cousins of mine, know that they do play with the toys, and obviously they're getting a little bit older now, but they still do play with the toys and everything. You know, they're obviously, but it's just unfortunately a lot of kids that have been brought up in a different era. Now, kids today, they've been brought up in a different era, and yeah, we've just been brought up in a different era, different time. It's just the whole like not just video games. I mean, video games have been around since long before I was born. Video games started probably when my mum and dad were still quite young. But the first actual, like the Commodores and the Spectrum and the Commodore 64 and the Pong game, all that stuff came out probably when my parents were still quite young. But yeah, it's just video games. I've always obviously I was a massive gamer when I was a kid. I had the PS1 and PS2 and also PS3, and also now I have a PS4. But I've had all the PlayStations except for the PS5, which I do want to get hold of at some point. But anyway, so then also I've had like an old Sega and Atari. So I was very much into my video games, but I still went out a lot. I went for bike rides, I went for walks, spent all day with mates from school, just being a kid. I miss those days. I miss the simpler times, where your mother had to kind of like shout out the door for you to come in for your tea. Those kind of days. I miss those days. I really do. Oops. But yes. I don't know if I'm going to hear anything from Samboy. I did ask him if he wanted to come on or not. I've sent him the link if he wants to join me for an hour. But whether he does, I don't know. We'll see. But I've been on for an hour now, just over an hour. If I don't hear anything by 7:30, I probably might call it a night. But no, it feels good to get back to these. I know this stream hasn't been incredibly fun. One of the stream hasn't been incredibly fun. I've just kind of like been lost to what to talk about. But no, I'm glad to get back to them. Hey, Graham. Hi, all. Hello, Clet75. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. So far, you haven't missed much, my friend. We're just kind of talking about good old days of being a kid. Like days have gone where kids used to play with toys on the bedroom floors, and kids don't seem to really buy toys anymore, and the issue of finding toys in local toy shops Like the whole thing of pre-ordering toys has taken over and taken the shine out of it a little bit of finding it out in the shops and that. That's pretty much kind of been the conversation so far. If you wanted to chime in on that, you're more than welcome, my friend. Yep, there we go, my friends. Yeah, my son hardly has any interest in toys. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. You know, kids don't seem to really have that interest in playing anymore. It's video games, technology, mobile phones, tablets. You know, like back in my, I mean, obviously, most people of when born around my age or before or a little bit later, they will know what it was like as to be a kid still. Going out endless hours playing, with friends, local friends, neighborhood friends, school friends, whatever, going for bike rides, hanging out all day, being a kid, and then coming home watching cartoons on a Saturday morning or Cartoon Network or whatever, Nickelodeon and all that, and or GMTV, on a Saturday morning for me. It was like, you watched your cartoons. It was something you had a discussion about at school, like the latest cartoon or the film or whatever. And video games. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved my video games as a kid, but I used to play a lot of hours. I used to play a lot of games when I was younger, but I still kind of went out and I still, I experienced what it was as a kid. I was able to kind of, like separate myself from the technology still. To kids today, they're just brought into this world of technology. It's very difficult to kind of peel their attention away like it was for me when I was younger, and to actually gravitate their attention. Alpha, Deathsaurus is an absolutely fantastic piece. Really enjoying messing with him here. Yeah, kids are a little antisocial at times these days. Yeah, they are a little bit. But yeah, yeah, it's a shame, really. The art of, like playtime and playing and everything, and I'm just glad that I was born at the time when I was. Before technology really started to come into it, and mobile phones started to get more advanced, and all this kind of thing, and the fact that I had a really easy, really cool childhood, really, when it came, apart from school, I fucking hated school. I hated school, but I absolutely, a lot of the best times was when I was a kid, like just like endless laughs and messing about as kids should. Really. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it's like at the moment, like obviously kids do have toys. Kids will play with toys for the most part, but it is getting a lot more increasingly difficult to capture the attention of kids. I think that's probably why animation's gone away from being more family friendly. Because you find animated stuff now is more aimed at teens, like mid to late teens, to us adult. Yes, there's still family friendly cartoons being made, of course, but I think the animation industry has kind of noticed that it's only people of a certain demographic age that are actually watching animation still, that are actually interested in watching stuff that's animated. Like, I mean, I think that's probably also why Disney's probably having such a problem. It's obviously two parts of it is obviously a lot of the stuff they've brought out in recent years has not been as good as what they can make. There's been a couple of films. I mean, obviously a lot of the stuff hasn't been as good, but it's because kids aren't watching it. Because obviously Disney is all about young kids. It's all about family, family entertainment and all that kind of jazz. And that whole thing is starting to die out. Kids aren't interested anymore. They're not interested in Disney stuff anymore, and anything like that. So I think that's probably why there's been much more demand and much more of a shift with the animation industry. Is like kind of focus it more at adults, and they're getting a lot more attention as a result. A lot more attention, like Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. Obviously that's based on Dungeons and Dragons, but it's incredibly mature. It is like you do not let a kid watch that. Well, not supposed to. But it's very gory and bloody and everything. But it's really funny, action packed to the brim, and it is beautifully animated. But it's not meant for kids. It's meant more for like, it's meant for like 15 upwards, I'd say 15, 18 upwards. But it's you find like more adult centric demographic stuff that that is more like made for that kind of age group demographic. They are getting the viewer numbers much more than more family based, more like meant for kids of a younger age. That stuff's getting less attention to the stuff that's actually made for an older demographic animated. So you can definitely tell there is a shift, and that's why I think there's that shift there with the demographic of audience. That's why there's a lot more adult animated stuff coming out than there ever was before. Because at one point it was only really The Simpsons and Family Guy that was heavily more for older demographic that was on the telly. And then now, you've got obviously American Dad since now. You've got all sorts of stuff that is, it appears to be more for a younger audience, but when you watch it, it isn't. It's definitely not. I mean, at the moment, I'm watching a series called Has Been Hotel, which has just started on Amazon Prime, and I'm a big fan of the original pilot for Has Been Hotel. I thought it's a really good independent animated movie that was released on YouTube. And it's really, really good, and the characters are brilliant. But it's definitely not for kids because it goes down the avenues of drug use, sex industry, sex industry kind of stuff. Drug use, alcoholism, all the bad stuff basically that you could think of. And it basically focuses on that, and it's something you don't really want kids to understand. I don't want kids too young to really watch something like that because the nature of it. But it's bloody good. It is fucking good. And also like Invincible as well. Like that's a really good series. So like the animated, the adult centric animation stuff is just so much better. It's just so good. The Clip 75. I'm glad you liked that Deathsaurus. It looks pretty epic. It is a good figure. I've got it myself, Graham. It's just up there where the camera can't see. It is a bloody good figure. I haven't had a proper play with it yet, though. I haven't transformed it or anything yet, and just all of his bits are still in the box over there. So I need to have a really good play around with him when I've got time. That sounded really bad, didn't it? Sounded wrong, that. But I'm gonna have to have a little tinker with him. Again, that sounded wrong. In that, oh well. Alpha Prime would love them to give us another TF series like Prime. Yeah, I would absolutely love a little bit more of a darker, gritty series like Prime. The thing is what's interesting is that what's interesting with the TV animation stuff when the live action films come out is that when the live action, basically the whole idea when Transformers Prime came out, it was meant to try and echo the Bay films a bit. That the designs of the characters and how the humans looked, the darkness of it and everything. It was meant to kind of mirror the Bayverse kind of image. Hence why it was done in the way it was. That was kind of the point. And that was kind of the point there. But there has been a darker, edgy series for Transformers that has come out since then, but it was the Netflix series, but it was absolutely terrible with the voice acting. I don't understand why that series was the voice acting was so bad on that series. Because a lot of the voice actors that were a part of that series are actually very, very good. And I mean very, very good. But yeah, it seems to me it was all down to the voice director. I think the voice director is just shit. He didn't know how to get the best performance out of the actors. All the characters just sounded generic. There was no defining difference in the voices. They just all sounded the same, and everything. But I mean, I do love gritty. I do love dark, gritty Transformers. I must admit. But whoever takes it on, you need a bit of a balance with it at the same time. That's why Transformers Prime's so good, because it's very dark and sinister, but it has a great balance as well. What I mean by that is that you've got a bit of humor in there, but it doesn't take. What I like about it is that it's serious, quite dark, serious, sinister, gritty, but then there's an injection of humor in there which kind of helps to bring you out of that depressing kind of darkness a bit. And then you got really awesome action sequences, and then you kind of get back into that dark grittiness again. But it's a great balance, and it's very rare that you find a series that does a good job at infusing that together. Because humor with dark grittiness doesn't always work. You need to kind of you either have dark gritty or a comedy. When you start incorporating the two together, it starts kind of causing problems, confusing the narrative. But what I love about it is when they master that and combine it, and it's mastered to a degree where the writing's good, the characters are well written to a degree. I would say probably in Transformers Prime, for me, in Transformers Prime, I think the Decepticons are better written. I think the writing for the Decepticons is better than the Autobots, with the exception of RC. I say that in a biased way, in a way, because RC is my favourite Autobot from Transformers Prime, because I just love her sassiness, and I just love that version of RC. And also I love Wheeljack as well. He's another one of my favourite Autobots. I thought Transformers Prime Wheeljack was just awesome. But then when you go to the Decepticon side, Megatron was fucking fantastic. He was proper Megatron. He was proper evil. He was fucking twisted. And then you got Starscream, that was voiced by one of my favourite voice actors, Steve Bloom. And his take on Starscream was absolute fucking brilliant. And then you got Knockout and all that. Knockout was brilliant. You know, the Decepticons were just so cool in Prime. Really good character development. But yeah, I would love a series like Prime again. I really, really would. Really enjoying seeing your artwork again, man. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, yeah. I've been churning them out quite a lot recently, haven't I? Yeah. I wanted to kind of like, obviously I get burnt out quite a lot, quite easily. As you all know by now, I get burnt out. But I enjoy, I get burnt out now and again, which is kind of normal. But yeah, I get burnt out now and again. But it's just, it's been good to kind of get back to it a little bit. You know, it's been nice to kind of get back to it. But yeah, I'm up. You know, at the moment I've been kind of, trying to kind of draw something at least once or twice a week when I've had like a quiet bit of time to myself. But yes, it feels good to kind of get back to that. Steady on. But yeah. Well, we're at 7:30. I don't think we're going to get Sam on, but he's probably been working. Well, he has been working, but he's probably having his tea or something. I don't know. But it's all well and good. It is all well and good. But I probably might come to an end with the stream in a minute. What the fuck? Getting beep beeps, beep beeps. Ooh, what's this? Interesting. I just had an email by TF Nation. There's another guest announcement for TF Nation in August. I think, yeah. Transformers writer and producer Michael Charles Hill. Episodes that with episodes such as Starscream's Brigade, Ghost in the Machine, and the return of Optimus Prime in his credits, you won't want to miss hearing Michael's stories from both the script writing room and the recording sessions. Interesting, my friends. TF Nation's big summer convention is back. Stay tuned. Right. 3rd of February is when the tickets for TF Nation in August go on sale. So, Michael Charles Hill has just been announced for TF Nation. Writer, producer. The Transformers, The Gambler, Starscream's Brigade, The Killing Jar, Ghost in the Machine, The Burden Hardest to Bear, and The Return of Optimus Prime is his credits for the Transformers. That is going to be interesting because he was also present during the recording sessions as well. So I think I know what one of the panels are going to at TF Nation is going to be. Is definitely this, guys. Wowzers. Very interesting. Well, it is the 40th anniversary, so they're actually getting somebody that was a part of the G1 series there. Not acting, but writing, but it's still cool. Well, 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 well. Well, on that bombshell, I'm probably going to start heading off in about 5 minutes. I've not heard anything from Sam, so I don't think he's going to come on. But I've got nothing else to really talk about. But it's been good to get things off to a good start this week with getting a stream out. And I'm hoping to kind of try and keep it up every Friday, do a live stream. Like I said, at some point down the line, there probably might be something like maybe I'm on holiday or something or whatever. I might not be able to get it out on a Friday, or there might be something, other commitments, which is normal. But I am going to try my absolute damnedest to get a stream out every Friday this year or whatever. But yes, it's good to get these back up and revving. I really enjoy making these streams, and it's good that other people enjoy watching along. I know Jace was in earlier, but unfortunately he must have popped off. There must have been, busy, which is normal. It's fine. But it's been nice to have Alpha and Graham in there as well in the chat. But I'm going to go now. So thank you to Alpha, thank you to Graham the Click 75, and also to Jace for joining me for a little bit tonight. And so thank you ever so much. Well, stay tuned. More streams are coming. Hopefully every Friday I will be doing streaming. In between that time, there will be other videos coming out as well. So yeah, just keep an eye out for. Thank you so much for watching. Awesome, Alpha. Awesome catch up, bro. Take care. You take care of yourself, my friend. Thanks for watching. But yeah, I will be back next week, next Friday, with another stream. And so just keep your eyes peeled. And I shall be back. Hopefully, I might be able to talk about something more this week, because this stream certainly hasn't been one of my best, I will have to say, because I just don't know what to talk about. But I wanted to get one out today because to just kickstart the process. But I've got nothing to really talk about, nothing of real interest to talk about, really. So there's been a lot of awkward silence in this one. But anyway. But thanks for watching, everybody. And take care of yourselves. And I will certainly talk to you guys very, very soon. So yeah, see you next week for another stream, and keep your eyes peeled for anything else from me, video wise or anything like that. But anyway, thank you. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.